can you hear me?
I
Oh, you
love
look so beautiful.
so do you. I was gonna say I love your hair.
Ah, thank you. Yes, I love red, and I was my other one was copper red, and I thought it was too orange, and I went for more like cherry red. So,
Love it.
and I'm wearing my supernatural shirt,
Oh,
family
yay.
of
I
red and blood.
I wore this one. I should have worn the other one. I know we have the same one.
Oh, it's fine. I think mine is in the laundry right now. I would have wore it, but
No, it's okay. We both have both of those shirts.
yeah, I have ton of merch from like past years to conventions to just I spent a lot of money. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm with you.
And I don't regret it. Just saying, it's my passion, it's my thing. So.
Why not? If it makes you happy, who cares?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, some girls like to buy, like crazy bags and shoes. I go for supernatural crap. And it's just me.
That's just what it is. Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's been crazy. I'm experiencing a bit of a burnout, to be honest. Like, I was never really much of a morning person, but right now I'm like, I really don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do my assignments. I'm just so tired. Like, I want this year to end. I mean, school year to end. And it's a bit of a burnout, but, we're working through it.
Yeah, actually, I feel the same way. I have school too. Have you had like breaks this semester, or have you like did they take out the breaks?
For us, we don't really have like spring break. We did have winter break, but
Yeah.
for spring, we just have reading days. So on those days, you don't have class. But I personally think it's stupid because it's in the middle of the week, like Wednesday. So you just don't have class, but it's still like a school day. You have homework, you have assignments, you have like presentations and things to work on. So it's not really a break for me.
Right.
So no, I haven't had a break since December.
That's insane. Yeah. My school's doing the same thing. They're not giving us like a spring break or anything. And they keep saying like, "Oh, this is like the biggest burnout in years." And I'm like, "Okay, well then like give us a break." Like I don't know
Yeah.
what to say. Like that's all there is to it. It's crazy.
It is because I know in some of my classes there's like 100 kids and now barely 20 kids are showing up. Like they just and
Yeah.
I'm like, this is really showing you that kids need a break. I mean, college can be frustrating in so many different levels. And on top of that, if you add anxiety of not having a break, it's just kids give up and they drop out because they can't take the constant burnout. So, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm
Well, we have mantra to keep us going.
I know.
So
Oh, it's been
it's
oh my
good.
gosh, it's been so good. I know we're kind of going like out of order, whatever. But it's been so good. Like I've tried the Rise one, and the Rise, I was very surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm a huge coffee drinker, but this actually woke me up, and I hadn't even had coffee that morning, and I was like, wow, this is actually really good.
Yeah, no, it's the same for me. Well, I am kind of having my own stuff going on, out of school wise, family wise. And then on top of that, I'm getting ready for MCAT and stuff like that. And I'll tell you a story, and it's a horrible thing. I drank 5 cups of coffee a day. 5, and we're talking like jumbo size, because I really needed to stay focused, stay alert, because when you study for MCAT and stuff, you really have to like zoom in on the details. And I was like, this is really bad for me. My heart started racing, and my mom is like, you drink too much coffee. And I was like, I'm gonna try it. I didn't have high expectations for it. I was really happy that Jared was doing it because of the whole mental health behind it, but I wasn't really believing that products were as quality, to be honest. Now as an affiliate, I can say that, but I tried it. I tried all 3, and I'm using all 3 right now. And they work. Like they really, really do work. They're delicious. They wake you up. They give you this weird energy boost that usually only coffee does. So they're really incredible. My favorite is Rise too, because again, burnout, and it helps me stay focused and gives me again that energy. But rest is my kind of cherry on top. I get to my bed, I take my book, my quiet time, I sip on my rest, and it's just perfect. So just depends what you need.
Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't tried rest yet. Does it like make you tired, or like what does it do?
It relaxes you a lot. That's for me. I barely get tired. I feel like even when I'm really tired, I'm not. Like my brain is constantly working. That's just the way I am. But when I drink rest, it really like relaxes me. Like it kind of gives me the day is over kind of vibe. And I usually drink it as a hot drink, as a tea, as opposed to Rise, which I drink like iced tea. So it just really gives you that like end of the day kind of mood. It's really good. It's delicious and it's really good and smells divine. I don't know if it's only me, but it smells so good.
I'll have to try it tonight. I will. That's awesome. Yeah, I love Rise. I tried Go. That was really good too. I don't know, but yeah, Rise is my favorite because I agree with you. It like gets me up and moving, and it actually it does make you really focused. Like I tried it like a couple days ago, and was just like in a horrible mood because I had so much to do, and I was actually able to sit down and get something done. And lately, I feel like I've just been like so all over the place, and it really helped me feel more like centered and like focused. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, it's good. I drink Rise every morning. It's instead of my cup of coffee. I really changed my routine when it comes to that, and I'm happy with the effects on my body and how I feel. I still have to have my afternoon coffee. That is a must, but that's okay. You know, we can cheat every once in a while. To be honest with you, I only drink Go when I go to the gym, which is 3 times a week. Not that you just have to drink it when you work out. It's just the way I do it because I'm not really like liquid drinker. Like I barely drink enough water that's like healthy for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I am trying as it goes, but Go instead of like the difference between Go and Rise for me, Go really gives me this like badass, like I'm gonna go work out kind of energy.
Yeah.
And Rise is more like I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna focus, and I'm gonna get this done, if that makes sense. But that might be just the way it works for me. I know people that take Go instead of Rise, and it works wonders for them. So I just think it's what you choose and like how your day goes and what you have to do. That depends on what you choose to try. Maybe you try all three and it works for you throughout the day and it's incredible. So just depends on the person.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so fun. And I know you have a code for, right? A discount code.
Yes, I do. I was really happy to become an affiliate. I just want to say I'm really honored to even have a chance to talk to Mantra and learn more about what they stand for. Because as someone who survived depression and still surviving mental health illness, because again, it's not something that you survive, it's something that you are surviving. And I always highlight that because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon and it takes time. And just hearing them and they're kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like they want these products to be available to everyone who wants to try them. And that's the main thing. It's not like if you have money, you can try them. No, it's if you need it, it's there for you. And that's what I love about them and about the way they kind of make the pricing and they also give the discounts. My discount is Iva Marinkovic for 25% off. Use it, please try it. But we just really want everybody who needs the product to get it because the products do work. And if you want to give money to something that's positive in the world, this is the way to do it. And we want everybody to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Despite if you're a student and if you're a freaking student loan and you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. I really want to try. I don't have money. You do. And it's not crazy expensive. And you don't have to buy all three. You don't have to buy, 60 packs. You can just buy one and try it. It's like, I don't even know. It's like $6 for like one. So just try it. You can't know if it's going to work or not if you don't try it. And we just want everybody to be able to try it. So
Yeah, yay. That is so amazing. I love that.
yeah,
And that's so awesome. I'm so proud of you and I'm so happy for you.
thank you. I am honored to be part of the Mantra family and I'm honored to spread their message because it is beautiful. And it's kind of, as someone who really follows Jared and is inspired by everything he does, I'm really proud of him for doing this. I think it's a step forward. And I think when it comes to legacy, sure, everybody's going to remember Sam Winchester and the show, and everybody's going to remember Walker and Cordell. But everybody, like I can guarantee, I know I'm going to remember Jared doing this for mental health and sharing about mental health and being kind of a leader in the sense of let's talk about it. Let's make it normal to talk about depression, anxiety, and OCD and PTSD. Like that's a beautiful legacy to have. And I think he should be really proud of that.
Yeah, I agree. I would say that's what made me like love him so much or just get so inspired by him is because he talks about it and he's not afraid to talk about it. And I feel like that's very rare sometimes. A lot of people are don't want to talk about it, and I totally get that. But I'm just really happy for like what he's done for this community and how much he wants to help. And he's helped me so much. I know he's helped you. It's like incredible. So yeah, you're right. It's a beautiful, beautiful legacy.
Yeah, it's scary to think that we live in such a perfect world that a celebrity just has to be perfect because he is gorgeous and he's popular and he has a family and kids and house and money and he needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I love that he said, I have all of that and that's great, but I have this hole inside in my gut telling me I'm not fine. And I'm not going to say I'm fine just because all of you want to hear I'm fine. And I think that's really important, especially when it comes to mental health, you know?
It is. It is so important. And I think I find myself doing that sometimes too. I'm like, I have all of these great things in my life. Like, why do I have all of these bad feelings? Like, I should be grateful for what I have instead of like being upset about this or that. And then I have to remember, like, I can still have feelings. Like, it is okay to have feelings, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Sometimes feelings are scary. It just happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, what is your story with mental health? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I first of all want to say I love to share my story, not because I want to sound like, oh, I survived this and I'm so awesome because I'm here. No, it's because when I was going through it, I felt like it wasn't real and I felt like I was nuts to think that I was feeling so bad because nobody else around me talked about it. So I thought, whatever I'm feeling, it's wrong. It's not real. Like I know something is wrong with me, but nobody else is saying this, so it's probably not real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my way of helping is to show people that they're not alone and that me personally, I'm feeling this every single day. You know what I mean? So I am a depression survivor and I choose to say survivor because I think it's the most beautiful label I get to carry. And the fact that I'm still here and the fact that I'm still fighting and talking about this, it really gives me this idea of you're such a badass, strong person, kind-hearted, and I really love the world and I love people out there and I want them to know that they're not alone. And I'm still struggling with anxiety every single day. It happens. A couple of days ago, I posted, I just had a horrible day. Like everything was just going downwards. Like I woke up, I got stressed out. I got an email. I didn't finish my homework on time. My parents asked me a question. I yelled at them and then I cried because I yelled at them. And I was like, what is happening? You know what I mean? I just became really anxious in like a matter of minutes. And then I realized anxiety, depression, any kind of mental illness, it's really a marathon. Like you need to understand there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days throughout your whole life. And when you realize that that's how it's going to be, then you're going to be like, all right, I'm in it to win it. Like I'm not going to give up. And if I have a bad day, I'm going to have a good day tomorrow. Like I just need to I need to get to tomorrow. You know what I mean? And I think personally, depression and anxiety came together for me. It first started with anxiety when I moved to the United States and I was really worried. Like I didn't want to pronounce things wrong. I didn't want to sound stupid. I didn't want to wear something nobody else in my school was wearing. I'm going to come back to the show and say, I didn't want to be a freak. I wanted to be like everybody else. You know what I mean? Right, and I came in 8th grade and I was a freak, man. I was just different. Like my hair was weird and I was wearing these crazy dresses that were really popular in my country. But here people are like, what the hell is she wearing? Like, who is that? You know what I mean? And kids can be mean, you know, it's the way it is, especially in middle school when everybody thinks they're perfect. So it really became with that anxiety of like, I don't want to raise my hand in class because I don't want to sound stupid. Or what if teacher asks me a question and I don't understand it? Like literally not understand it. And then on top of that, I was kind of going really bad in school because of that language barrier. And then on top of that, I couldn't talk to my parents about it because they had their own struggles of learning a language and finding a job and paying rent. So their struggle at that time was a lot bigger than mine. So I was like, I don't want to bother them. They are already dealing with things. So it's just all of that anxiety kind of building up and building up and building up to the point where I started high school, and I think that's when it leaked into depression. The way when I talked to my therapist about it, that's when it leaked into depression. And you start to realize depression isn't all about being sad and being lonely. For me, it was the contrary. I was the best kid in class. I had all A's. I was awesome. I was doing great. I had a lot of friends, you know. And I think for me, depression turned into overachieving things because in my head, my worth was all of those things. Because it was easier to focus on those things instead of focusing on this emptiness that I was feeling inside. Because I knew I wasn't fine, but when somebody asked me, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm great. because that's what you want me to say, because that's the expected answer. So I think that's kind of the progression of how I moved through. And I think my therapist says, at least, it's adaptation. But the way you had adaptation, why it leaked into depression, anxiety, is because you didn't have a support system. And support system is just so, like, I can't highlight it enough. It's number one on the list when it comes to healthy adaptation to something else. And it's not necessarily that my parents didn't want to support me. They didn't know about it. It's not that my friends didn't want to support me. They didn't know about it. And I think it's because mental health was such a taboo at the time. We're like, oh, she's weird. She's depressed. Like, what the hell is, she should go to a mental hospital. Like, it's where crazy people go. You know what I mean? It was just so stereotypical to say that you were struggling.
Yeah.
So I think you're frozen. Oh, you're back. Okay, good. You were frozen.
I know. Well, I could hear you, and then like it was so weird. Okay.
Okay, good. Well, at least you heard me. I don't have to repeat the whole.
Okay, good. I know. I got nervous. I was like, oh my god, is it still recording? Oh my god, and then recording. It's fine.
That's what I love about our chats and about our content. It's just so like natural. Things like these happen. It's like, it's fine. It happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much my story. And I think it's important for me to say that I was in a really dark place, in a really negative. I looked at myself and I hated what I saw. I was just, I don't know. I wasn't sad. I want to say sad. I was just so miserable inside. I didn't know, what the hell am I doing this for? You know what I mean? Like, why am I the best kid in class when I feel absolutely miserable? Why do I have thousands of friends and I don't really know any of them? You know what I mean? It's just all of those things that you have that constrict you to, like, I'm supposed to be fine, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I guess that's the only way to kind of explain it,
Yeah, I really relate to your story, just because, like, I feel like my whole life I've been labeled as this, like, really happy go lucky person, just high energy all the time, smiling, and that's just how people have come to know me. And so when I say things like, oh, I'm depressed, or I'm sad, or something along those lines, or I have anxiety, people don't really, like, it's not that they don't believe me. I think it's just they don't understand that, like, I really feel that way, that just because I'm smiling and because I'm like this really happy person, that's not that's not who I am on the inside.
It's not always who you are.
Exactly. And so, like, I told a friend once, I was like, I get very depressed and anxious, and they were like, oh, I could never see that happening to you. And I was like, what? I was like, no, like, but it does, like. And so I think it's just, I get it. Like, it was hard for me to talk to people too, because it felt like every time I did, it was kind of almost like, okay, yeah, but you're fine.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. And yeah, so I really agree. And it wasn't until I fully, like, admitted to myself, like, I think I have anxiety. And I was like, okay, like, once you kind of admit it to yourself, that's when you start, like, you can, like, rationalize what's going on in your head,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think it's just really hard because if you open up to people, and again, it comes back to the support system.
Yeah.
It's better not to have a support system than to have people tell you, oh, you're fine. Yeah. When you're not fine. You know what I mean? Because when people tell you, oh, you're fine, then you start questioning, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just, like, fine. You know what I mean? Why am I sad? I have everything I need. I have a home, I have family, knock on wood, we're all healthy, we're all safe. Right. Why am I sad? Why am I not fine? And they're saying I'm fine, so I must be fine. You know what I mean? And it's just this weird moment of finding someone who's going to tell you, oh yeah, you're not fine. Yeah. Because if you tell me you're not fine, I'm going to believe you, and I'm going to listen why you're not fine. Yeah. That's the difference between a support system and just someone who's not acknowledging your pain and acknowledging your struggle. Yeah. And that's, it's hard, and it's difficult to find a support system these days. I'm not going to lie. It's really hard, because I feel like a lot of people are using the term depression, anxiety for something that's not depression, anxiety. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for those people who really do experience depression, anxiety, or any other kind of mental illness, I want to generalize it. Right. And people are not taking them seriously. That's, I think, the main issue that we see in our world today.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because I think when you tell people you have anxiety, I know when I was younger I thought this, which is very ironic. I thought, oh, they have anxiety, like, oh, like that's not real. And now that I have it,
Yeah.
now that I like realized that I have it, I was like, it's karma, like full swing. But but I'm like, no, like it's real. Like I almost like on a daily basis, I'm like at war with my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what's real, what's not, what I should listen to, what I shouldn't listen to. I second guess everything I say or do. Like it's incredible how much energy I spend trying to like combat all these negative thoughts. And I and I never realized it until, recently, that like I spend that energy figuring it out, like what should I listen to, what should I not listen to, like what should I say, what should I not say. And yeah, it's interesting how much like anxiety can really affect your everyday life. And I don't think some people know that. Like I don't think some people understand how mental health can affect people, like literally on an everyday like almost on an hourly basis.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you, as someone who studies, my major is neuroscience and cognitive science, and I'll tell you one thing. People, when someone comes to you and they say, oh, I broke my leg, you immediately say, oh yeah, I can see it, you broke your leg. But when you come to someone and you say, oh, I had suicidal thoughts, then they're like, did they really? Like, I can't see that. And because I can't see it, it's just a way I feel like humans are programmed. If I don't see it, then I'm not sure if it's real. Like, I'll believe you, but I'm going to question it. You know what I mean? And I think that's why, and neuroscience in general is such a new science, such a new field, that it takes time. It takes time for people to realize that neuroscience is just as important, psychology is just as important as chemistry.
Yeah.
And even in school, when you see classes, you're like, oh, chemistry is like chemistry. And then like, oh, psychology. You know what I mean? No, they're both sciences. They're just studying different parts of human behavior, human anatomy, And I think when you start from that point, you start to realize why physical health is divided from mental health, and it should be together. Because for a human being, it's the same if you break your arm or if you have depression. It should be the same.
Yes.
Because both of them are illnesses and both of them are affecting you, as you said, on hourly basis. But it's interesting. I think we're progressing. I have a positive outlook, and I say maybe in a couple of years, we're going to see people really understand and grasp this concept of thought and kind of mental health in the way it should be talked about. I feel like a lot more people are starting to talk about it, which is a good thing, because we start to learn what it really is.
I agree. And I also think a lot more people are experiencing it. Like I think as the world gets crazier, a lot more people are starting to experience these feelings, and they're like, oh, whoa, like this is real. And it's like, yeah, it is. And so I think more people are starting to talk about it. Yeah, I agree with what you said about how you think it should be together. I do too. Like, I think it's crazy that we don't learn about mental health when we were kids. Like so much of so many of the things that I've gone through could have been different if I had like mental health education when I was younger.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just think it's insane that we don't do that. Like, we have health, we learn about health, we learn about, our body and the chemistry of our body and all that kind of stuff, but we don't learn about mental health. And I'm like, I don't understand why, because they do have a correlation to each other, and people have proven that. So I'm like, why? I don't know.
Well, I think it takes us a second. Listen, we may be the most complex animals, but sometimes it just takes us a second. And give us our second and we're going to get there. I can guarantee you. I like to think that we're going to get there.
Yeah, that's awesome though. I agree with that. Okay. So yeah, we've gone off. It's okay. I don't really care. I just like talking.
I love the tangent that we're going. I think it's really interesting.
Great.
It's like,
it's
just natural. In a supernatural podcast, it's really natural,
I know. Oh, yes. Okay. So how has the Always Keep Fighting campaign helped you?
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to this story of me not having a support system. And I'll tell you, the first time I really started questioning if I actually had depression.
Yeah.
Because when I was going to school, I never saw a therapist. I never went to a psychologist. I rarely visited my counselor. I was like, I can do this on my own. I'm great. And I heard Jared, it was one of the conventions, I think in DC, and he came out and he said, I have all these great things, and I am really, I mean, really blessed to have you all come for me and for Jensen just to hear us talk. I mean, we're saying nonsense and you're laughing and it's great. And I have that honor to have all of that. But inside, I feel completely empty. Like I don't have any of those things. And I was like, that's it. That's what I'm feeling. So it's real. Like I'm not imagining, like somebody else is experiencing this.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I felt like I wasn't alone. And I by no means know Jared. It's not like we have a personal relationship. I would wish so, but it's not like we have a personal relationship.
Right.
So I'm like, oh yeah, like my mom said that, so I believe her. It's like I'm watching this dude that I watched on a freaking show and I love the show, but I have no idea who he really is. I just know what he puts out there.
Right.
But in that moment, I was like, at least there's just one more person that feels what I'm feeling. So I'm not alone. And that's that first step of like, oh, like this is real. Like I'm not imagining, like something is wrong. Like I don't know what it is that's wrong, but something is wrong. And then he started talking about his clinical, like diagnosis of clinical depression. I was like, I want to learn more about depression. I want to learn what it is so I can understand maybe I have it, maybe I don't have it. Like,
Yeah.
And that's when I first started searching and like, what is depression? What is anxiety? What is mental health? How can I get help if I need it? And I came across all these incredible articles and books and interviews and people kind of like what we're doing right here, talking about their experiences. And I was like, more and more people. And I was like, oh my God, there's not just one, there's like millions of people out there who feel the same thing I'm feeling. So I'm not crazy. It's really there. Like something is really wrong. And that really inspired me to be like, all right, I need a support system and I need someone to understand me and hear me in order to feel better. And when I found out about the campaign and about different fans that are part of the campaign, I was like, this is cool. I want to join. Yeah. And there was different chats. There was different group chat, like groups and stuff like that, where people were like, oh, I'm here for you. You're doing great. They became friends like you and I did through this. And they started FaceTiming and I started FaceTiming them. And it's like, I just got more people who are feeling the same things I'm feeling, and I can talk to them because I know they understand me. And I think that Always Keep Fighting campaign was that support system for me. It was that rock that I was like, I can lean onto these people when I need it. Like when I have a bad day, I don't have to stand there alone. I have someone to lean on and be like, oh, hey, Jamie, or like, oh, hey, Alexa, like just a couple of my friends from there. I'm feeling this, like, can we just talk? And I know they're going to respond, they're going to talk to me and they're going to understand. So it's just like that moment of understanding that I had people out there who care about me, like sincerely care about me, was just incredible.
Yeah.
And it was just a very eye-opening moment to know that you're not alone, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I feel like I experienced the same thing like with the Supernatural family. Because I've been a fan of the show for a while, but I wasn't like actually engaging in the fandom until I started doing my podcast. And I've met you, and you're one of my greatest friends. Like I don't have many friends, like but you're like so amazing and you're always there for me. And it's like, I know we haven't known each other for very long, but like, I don't know, you're just great and you're a great friend. And I've met so many other great friends through this fandom. And it's a support system that I never knew I could have. Like people don't, I mean, at least the people like I've encountered with, they don't judge me, and they just kind of, they like me for who I am. They support me for who I am. And I've never experienced such like
kindness.
Yes.
And I think it's the moment that you realize, oh, there's bad in the world, but then there's really good.
Yeah.
And you have to latch onto that good. And when that good that comes to your life, don't let it go, because that's part of your life that you want to keep. And it just came to me, one person that I really want to shout out to, and I talked about her so many times, is Jamie. She's such an incredible person, so powerful. She is also part of the Always Keep Fighting campaign, and someone I met through that. And I'm kind of digressing, but a lot of people are experiencing different things. For instance, she was experiencing an eating disorder, and she was in a very toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And my God, she's such a powerful woman. I like my tears are coming to my eyes just thinking about it, because I know her heart, and I know that she's so strong and so beautiful inside out. And she was judged by so many people, and she was judged by her partner, and she was judged by like just a big crowd, and yet she's still here and she's kicking ass. Like, she's a model, she's like a badass, like, you know what I mean? And I was like, yes, girl, like, you do that, like, you have my support. We might, like, we never met in person, I hope we do, because she has some family in Scottsdale, so I hope she comes and we meet. But oh my God, like, just seeing people succeed with their stories gives you hope that you can succeed, that you can make it to tomorrow. And it's just an incredible, she's just one in so many people I met along the way through Always Keep Fighting campaign that inspired me and kind of showed me I have to choose me. Like, if I'm not good for myself, then I'm not going to be good for anybody else. And it's damn powerful. And I think Always Keep Fighting campaign is what turned fans into family. You know what I mean? I think that's what changed us from fans to family, for actually getting to know each other and care for each other.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. I totally agree.
Okay. I had to give her a shout out. I love her. She's incredible.
Yes, of course. I love that. I don't know her, but I am very proud of her. I totally get it. I suffered with an eating disorder too, actually.
Yeah, please share. I mean, if you want to, of course.
No, it's funny, I don't talk about it much, but it's actually one of the bigger parts of my life. But I actually, so there's this thing that I found. So I don't know if you ever saw Insatiable, but in the show Insatiable, yeah, she goes to Overeaters Anonymous. And actually that show is what made me want to go to Overeaters Anonymous, because I was like, I overeat. I do, and it's a problem, and I do it because I'm either depressed or anxious, and I know it. And it's something I'm very mindful of now, but like, I didn't know it when I was younger, and so I'd always get so mad at myself. I'm like, why do I keep eating? Like, what is wrong with me? Like, I thought that there was just something wrong with me. Yeah. And I started going to these meetings, and it actually made me realize, like, no, it's like, it's my mental illness that is doing this to me. And like, I need to understand that, like, I can get better, and I'm not crazy, and I'm not like, there's not anything wrong with me. I just have to handle different situations differently because of my anxiety, and that's just what I've had to like realize. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's amazing.
I think I'm going to quote you on that and say, number one rule is admit that you have a problem, because the moment you admit it, it becomes real. And when it becomes real, you have to deal with it. If you don't admit it and you're like, oh, I'm fine, you know, but you're not. So when you admit that you have an issue or a problem or mental illness or any kind of, like, beyond that, any kind of problem, relationship problem, if you admit it, then it's real. And when it's real, you have to deal with it. Right. So I think that's step one, on top of like educating yourself and knowing what's out there and support. And it's important, like the steps and the levels towards recovery. It's important. And again, it's not a sprint. It takes time. I still recover, and I know I will forever recover. It will forever be part of my life, but that's the beauty of it. You know, nothing is perfect, and we can always get better. And it's just really cool. I love that you said that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So actually, okay, I'm gonna ask you what your favorite Jared quote is, but I'm gonna say mine real quick, if that's okay, because it goes
go ahead.
It goes along with what you just said. So my favorite Jared quote about anxiety is that he said, I think of it as like the person sitting in the car seat next to me. It's always like, they're always gonna be there. And he's like, you're not gonna get rid of it. They're just always gonna be there. And I don't know why, but when I heard him say that, it was like a eureka moment, because I went to a school counselor, and she told me that, like, I am so worried about fixing my anxiety that I get anxiety about fixing it. Because I'm like, I just want to fix it and then it go away. Like, if I can just fix it, then I'll be fine. And she's like, that's not how it works. So when he said that, it just like clicked. I was like, okay, it's just going to be here, and I'm just going to have to figure out how to handle it. And So I love that.
It's I love that. I think it's really cool because I think a lot of people can agree with you. I certainly can. I feel like it's telling, like, it's Winchester's trying to save the world, but it just keeps falling apart and they just keep having to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Right?
It never ends.
Yes.
And I feel like at the very end of the show, it's still not ending. You don't know what's going to happen in heaven. Like, I think that's a big, big message. It's like, it's there. It's just a thing that's always going to be there.
Yeah.
So I love that you said that. All right. So my quote, I'm going to read it because I don't want to butcher it. It says, "There's no shame in dealing with these things. There's no shame in having to fight every day." So I think it goes along with what you said. It's not a one-day thing. It's not a month thing or a year. It's a lifetime thing. And as long as you're here, then you are freaking powerful. And I just want everybody to know, who's listening, who's watching, whatever, both of us, and I'm sure you agree, are so proud of you for being here. Like, thank you for doing it. And thank you for being here. And thank you for making it. And let's run this marathon together, because it's the way how it's going to be, you know?
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that you said that. Oh my God.
We should quote each other.
I know. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Okay, I mean, we've pretty much gone through all the questions. I guess what's your advice, or what would you tell someone who's going through something right now?
I'm actually going to use Jen's words in this one, because I opened up to her about my mental health, and it was just so spontaneous. It was through the book that we were reading, and it was about immigration and about this empathy of immigrants, myself included. We don't really have a home. You know what I mean? And as much as you want to say, oh, I live in Arizona. No, I live in Arizona for the last 6 years. I lived in Serbia for 14. So what exactly is my home? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's this empathy of just understanding that adaptation is really hard and you don't really feel like you belong. And I think, as I said in the beginning, a lot of my anxiety and depression came from that, of not knowing, like, where exactly is it that I belong? You know what I mean? And I opened up to her and I was like, this book is really cool, but a big thing that I got from it, that I empathize with the character, is this feeling of, like, I just don't fit in. And I'm like, whatever I do to be like everybody else, it just falls apart and I'm still the freak. Yeah. And you know what she said? She said, I don't belong either. That's the beauty. And I think short, sweet, so powerful. Like, she's a freaking bad, like, are you kidding? She is an actress, a blogger, a mom. I mean, she's killing it out there. Yeah. And yet she still feels like she doesn't belong. She's not, like, she doesn't fit in. And I think that gives you hope of, like, I think that's kind of a point. I think, like, not you, not me, not anybody fits in. Like, everybody is their own person. They're all different. They're all just trying to do their best in the world. It's easy to do your worst. And I think that's really the beauty. And I think her words really resonated with me. And I know will always be in the back of my mind, kind of reminding me of, like, if Jen Padalecki doesn't fit in, I don't have to fit in. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to fit in. That's great. But I don't, like, they probably do, but I don't think how people out there, like actors or singers or any celebrities or any famous people, I don't know, whoever likes, you know, certain people, how much effect their words have on all of us. And I think if you use your platforms to do something good, then that's powerful, and that's legacy, and that's, you should be really proud of that. So I'm proud of the entire Supernatural cast crew, Jared, Jen, Jensen. It's powerful to see them support each other and support the entire world with their words and their work. And it's really cool.
I love that. And I love that she said that. Like, I love Jen so much, and I feel like, yeah, she inspires me. And to me, she's like perfection. So the fact that she says that is like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's awesome.
It is really cool to get to, like, even the fact that she opened up to a complete stranger. I mean, I'm a complete stranger to her. Yeah. is powerful. Yeah. Because I like to think that she knew that her words would mean something to me. And I think that humanity in her, aside from, you know, like, aside from cameras and aside from interviews and aside from perfection of her world, which at all is not perfect, she is still a human with struggles and with just trying to help as many people as possible. And I know for the fact that she is doing so much good out there, and she should be really proud of herself. And I know she always feels this guilt of, like, I'm not really a rock star. My husband's a rock. No, you're a rock star. Like your
Oh,
husband's a rock star, but you're a rock star too. You know what I mean? Like don't down yourself
no.
in anything. And I listened to her, I think it was on Better Together with Marina Menounos, and she was talking about this guilt of like she deserves all of the roles that she got. Because there was some talk of like, oh, she got a role in Walker because she's Jared's wife. It was like, have you seen her acting skills?
Right.
Like, forget Jared. Jared's great and he's doing his own thing, but she's just as good. And she gave up so much to be a mom and to raise kids and to do all of these things. Just give her time to like do her own thing. I think she deserves to act as much as he does.
Oh yeah.
So it's crazy. I know I'm digressing, but it's,
No.
talking about Jen does that to me.
Yes, I love her and I agree. Like I don't know. I think she's a badass. Like the more I learn about her, like okay, so she's a Capricorn and I'm a Capricorn, and I feel like I really understand her because she is like constantly doing stuff and is like constantly being a badass. And now I don't know if I can like live up to that, but like I understand.
You still can.
I'm like, I understand like her work ethic and like I don't know. She is just amazing. And yeah, I agree. Like whatever. People are just mean and I love her. And
I mean, there's always going to be people that are going to put you down for us, for her, for everyone. So it is what it is. It's not a perfect world. There is good, there's bad, but as long as you focus on the good, then you're going to have a lot better day and a lot better life than if you focus on the bad. Just let them be mean. They're mean for their own sake. You do what you do when you enjoy, and that's what matters. And it's the same for you for your podcast. That would be like my number one advice. Like if you love it, do it. Yeah. Stop caring about if somebody's going to like. If you like it, you do it. Yeah. Because it's your passion, it's what you do with your life, and it's your choice. So I love it. I enjoy it. I love all the episodes. Thank
you. I appreciate it. At first I will say I was a little nervous when I first started it, but then after a while I just was like, you know what, I really like this and I really like the people who are listening. I don't care if it's like I have grown more than I thought I would, but like I still like I don't care if it's a small audience. Like if I like them and they like me, like then I'm happy. Yeah.
And I think that's matters. Yeah, and I think that's what matters in everything we do. Like it's not all about how much money can I earn from this or how many people are going to see this. It's I enjoy this and I feel like I'm doing something positive with it. Yeah. And if I can reach just one person with my talk today, just one, I'm not asking for 1,000, I'm asking for one, then I did my job right. And that's all that matters, and I think it's great. And I think everything starts small and then grows. It's just the way it is, but who knows, maybe one day, you're going to get to talk to some cast. I really wish you to talk to some of them because you're awesome. And you really incorporate the show the right way. You're incorporating like Sam and Dean's legacy into something unique and something just completely random. I've never seen, I have seen other supernatural podcasts, but not in a way you're doing it. I love that yours is nothing like any other ones I saw, I just think it's really cool and different. And you're a ray of sunshine, so I love to talk to you.
Thank you. Honestly, that just made my day because I get really like, I get nervous. Again, it's my anxiety. I'm like, oh my gosh, my podcast doesn't sound like everybody else's. I'm like, everyone else's is very structured and like mine's, it is kind of structured, but I also go off on tangents.
And that's great. I feel like yours is more raw and honest. And that kind of going back to what Jen does, she just posts things that come up to her.
Yeah.
Which is like, I just post things that I think are important and they're cool. And it's just so honest. And I feel like it's a lot more captivating than like structure and everything has to be, word for word. I'm like, this is kind of boring, not gonna lie. So I love it. I really enjoy your podcast. I hope you do more. Congratulations on 2 seasons.
Oh, thank you. I know this is the end of season 2. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna end it with this. I'm so excited.
Well, I'm honored to be your last episode.
Yeah, you're like my, oh my gosh, you're my first and only guest, but I love that. And
there will be more. I promise. There will be more. I know it will.
On that this weekend, actually.
Woo!
Because
Excited.
yes, you gave me that idea, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I'm doing that this weekend. But
Fun.
yeah, before we go, do you want to talk about your vlog and stuff? Because I know.
Oh, sure. Oh boy, you're really putting me on the spot. I didn't expect.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love your
No,
vlog.
it's okay. It's fine. Don't worry.
Love it too.
No, yeah, I just started it. It's a new idea. Jen inspired it, of course. I'm a big writer. And I can show you, I have like multiple journals that I write in,
I
and
love it.
it's just what I do when, like, again, going back to anxiety, it's like, oh my God, so many things are in my head. I need to put them down. Like, I just need to write them down.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can make it into something really cool and creative. Like, I am very like motivated to talk about sustainability and like environmentalism and some cool brands that have cool goals, mantra and mental health and books. And I know my thoughts are all over the place, but I think I can make it into something that's creative and the way that helps me and inspires others. So that's why I decided to start it. And I'm kind of seeing where I go with it. I'm just new at putting down content, how often I want to make it, like what path I want to take with it, because that's something Jen talked about in one of her interviews. When she started the blog, it's more like all over the place. And then she focused more on like town and sustainability. And I think that's what I want to do. I want to like put down everything I like and then pick and choose of like what my audience enjoys the most, if that makes sense. But it's an exciting journey, and thank you for saying it. I hope you guys all read my blog. It's on my Instagram, link in my bio. So if you enjoy it, let me know. Excited.
Yay. Oh my gosh. Yes, I love it. I'm so happy you started a blog. That's so amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
You honestly, partly you inspired me, because I was really scared to put content out there. I was like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's the beauty of like inspiring each other. It's like, if she can make a freaking badass podcast and YouTube and like do all these crazy things, I was like, I want to do this. Like, I have my own ideas and I want to put them down. And I think it's really cool that we get to inspire each other. And then we met, we have to meet in person. We'll make it work.
Oh my God. Yes. I don't know when, but I am down to go to Arizona.
Yeah. Well, just don't come here during summer, because you're going to regret it. It's horrible here. I'm not even going to lie.
I have to come before summer. Okay. Yeah.
We'll make it work 100%, because we need to meet.
I would love to. Yes. Oh my gosh. That would be so fun. And I'm always down to travel. I love traveling. So.
Oh, me too. I have to travel to you. I don't think I've ever been like much on that side of the country.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It would be fun. There's not a ton of stuff in St. Louis, but like there's some stuff. When like COVID starts like getting a little bit better, it would be a better time to come. Because there's like really cool museums and stuff that aren't open right now. But like, yeah.
I think it would just be fun to like meet and like be together. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh my God.
Which would be cool. It would just be like a plane ticket, and then we can stay with each other. We're not to like go crazy with the money and everything, you know?
Yeah, no.
It'll be still fun. Oh my God, we're doing this. We'll talk more about that.
Yes. Well, it was so amazing talking to you. I love
Oh my God, you too. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for talking about this, and thank you just for being awesome. You inspire me so much, and I love you. And my heart is full that I met you and I got to do this. Honestly, I'm honest to God. Like, I love this.
Oh, me too. Thank you for reaching out to me. Like, if you wouldn't have reached out to me, oh my gosh, I don't know what I would do.
You're crazy friendships start like that, you know? On Instagram.
Yes. Well, I don't know what I told the other day, but I'm like, yeah, like basically all my friends are like on Instagram. I have like 2 friends that are not on Instagram. Then
me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's great. I love this, and I wish you so much luck with your podcast. I know you're going to do great. And yeah, and thank you for including Always Keep Fighting. I think it's important. Although I love your research and like all of the lore and stuff, but I think this is a different kind of monster that we should all talk about. So it's great that you incorporated it.
I agree. I love it. Thank you for talking.
I'm so excited. Anxiety and excitement go together, you know.
I know, right? That's so
but that's a positive thing. It's not a negative thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.